Yo, oh, okay. Okay. That was the issue. I don't know what was going on then. Apologies. I had to unplug and plug in my microphone. Let's get out of this. Yeah, okay. I think it's fixed. I can hear myself at least on my own microphone. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Fixed. Yes, Linux takes a little bit longer to set up because I have to use a different software and various things. So apologize for the silence right at the beginning. Let me just share my... I did have this all set up, but I didn't expect the microphone to be disconnected. So here we are. Let me just grab my stream and share this to the Discord so everyone else can join in. So yeah, just bear with me, just a little longer. So yes, we're on Linux today. I'm not as confident with Linux, as you can probably tell. And audio, okay. So we are trying to fix synchronization. Yo, the Jed, how you doing, dude? Good to see everyone. Good to see Nilo. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So we have. Oh, I do have Visual Studios already open. Wagwan indeed. How you? Fantastic. Yes. I don't know if you would consider me part of the Linux community. I'm probably like standing on the outskirts. I'm there, but I'm not right in there with everyone else. Okay, so why are we on Linux then? That is usually means, if you've been in these live streams before, I'm glad you're good, the Jet. Oh, the Jeet. Yeah, audio. That's it. Ah, thank you. Appreciate you watching my videos. Okay, so we're on Linux. Synchronization. I kind of threw that in there last minute. And this is the first thing, unfortunately, we're going to have to work on. Typically, when I'm in Linux, for those who are unfamiliar with this, Linux isn't working. That's why we're on Linux. I edit the code in Windows, right? And then I go, okay, I pray to the Linux gods, whoever they are, the GNU Linux gods out there, that it works. And unfortunately, no, it did not work today. And this is typically for a couple of reasons, but this time I believe it's driver differences between, because I have an NVIDIA graphics card, right? And if you're running Linux on an NVIDIA graphics card, yeah, you're not going to have that much of a fun time compared to AMD users. So, just a warning, Visual Studio Code is Windows only. So Visual Studio Code, for Visual Studio Code will, I assume not Mac. I'm just using it as a text editor. And try to make your own game. Fantastic, yeah. I love that. I love the fact you're trying to make your own game. So, let's just make in all, because I was working on this before the stream. Oh, and let's start my timer as well, because the app sesh is finished. I've been working a lot on threading off stream. Okay, so compiles with a few warnings. So I'll show you what happens and why we're working on Linux today. So it's not like we can't get things to compile or run. Everything runs. I'll go full screen and I knew it. Sorry, just to explain why I'm saying that. Okay, so I updated my graphics card. Oh my goodness, NVIDIA is so annoying. Okay, so I was getting horrendous desynchronization issues. Everything was tearing. It was beyond terrible. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, there it is. You see that on the dock in the center of the screen? As someone said in one of my live streams, my game is called Hantavirus. We are in a situation where some of the vertices in this dock are rendering, and this will get worse the longer I actually do stuff. So I go in and out full screen like this. Your RTX 30, yeah, it looks terrible, doesn't it? I agree, it looks gross. But the problem is it's only like sometimes drifting. Either way, this is not good enough, effectively. I can actually make it much worse. Actually, because I've deleted some code because I had to restart my computer because I had to update my Linux drivers. Oh no, it did save that. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna put on validation layers back on, but not synchronization for now. Mine is a 4070. I have the proprietary NVIDIA drivers installed. We can actually look at that because it is kind of. We'll let that load because that takes a minute in the background. But yeah, I'm just going to turn on synchronization right now. Just look at this. So yeah, there's no issues, and I'm also going to make everything a bit smaller. Usually if you have issues, it's more likely your fault and not the drivers, especially with Vulkan. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So I have this driver. I've tried to switch to this one in the past. It just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't understand why this doesn't work. The 595. I can't get on that driver for some reason. I have the most basic Linux Mint version. So let's just let me neo fetch for people who are interested. There you go. That is my setup. And there is nothing in here that's that interesting. It's the most basic Linux Mint setup of all time. That's the graphics card we're running on. This is what it supports, obviously. And yeah, I've never been able to go to that particular graphics driver version. Yeah, so we are working on synchronization issues, and yeah, Ratchet is correct. Typically, you don't want to blame the driver because Vulkan is less. It's not like OpenGL, where in the olden days, where OpenGL was the popular graphics driver, graphics API to use. You would be able to say, "Oh no, the graphics driver is not supporting my OpenGL implementation of something," because the drivers had to do a lot more. Vulkan there's a lot less to do. I think you should install. I think you have installed recommended drivers, not the proprietary. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Every Linux is a bit different, so I understand if there's a bit confusion there, but there is. Although it says recommended. Oops, let's not try and do anything. If I go and then press apply, it doesn't work on this particular one. These are all proprietary. This is open source. I've got other issues with this particular driver version, mostly to do with resizing. It kind of falls apart with resizing. So we're not using that one. And we're trying to figure out one. Oh, actually, that was the thing I was going to do. I was going to reduce the scene size to something quite small, actually, because the FPS is a lot lower on this on Linux for some reason. It takes longer to get around, so yeah, we're just gonna bring everything in. Mint isn't a great distro, to be honest. I don't know why it gets recommended so much, but then again, I was a lowly Arch user. The reason I picked this is because, yeah, if people are going to be recommended this graphic, if people are going to recommend it Mint, then it's likely that a lot of people are. So that's just a warning for yeah, okay, so but warning that validation is adjusted. Sure. Okay, it's adjusting settings, nothing that I care about, to be honest. Okay, so we might end up inside a rock. We've got way more likelihood to do that. So we're going to try and trigger that horrible. I had it. Ooh, I had it before, really bad. But not at the moment, which is kind of interesting. So I'm just gonna. Also, this like, it's way more juttery on Windows. Sorry, on Linux. So I think we still have some issues. I'm not sure how to trigger it as of yet. So I've been working on a bunch of other stuff off stream. I've been working on learning threading properly. Okay, yeah. So this eventually happens with the recreation of the swap chain falls apart. So there's something wrong. This is a clear indication of something's going wrong. Well, it was designed for old hardware. Linux Mint was designed for old hardware? Interesting. Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. So this has crashed. I just hope it's not my... Now we can go in here and send sync id to that process. Yep, quit please. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and fix today. What I think I might end up doing today is going back a commit and just seeing if it's still broken. Because I don't... But first thing, I'm going to check a couple of like swap chain things to see if anything's missing before we do that. Because I did change the resize code and stuff like that. So a while ago. Sorry, scroll down. I'm not going to get there very fast if I do that. Okay, so present. I want new frame. Now what I'm looking for is missing this stuff, right? This is stuff I've briefly commented out on Windows, and I'm not entirely sure if it exists in where it should be. But there should be stuff around. Yeah, okay. There, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so that we've guarded against both resizes on Windows at least. Just choose a gaming/game dev optimized distro. Yeah, this is a tough one to fix. I don't know what a gaming distro is, to be honest. Did you change your LSP on Linux? Me? No. I don't know what that means, honestly. So this is what I mean where I'm not quite in the... What I'm going to do is also just check quickly, because I've seen this before when I got the dynamic rendering wrong. So we're just going to go into here and just check my dynamic rendering functions, making sure that the depth and yeah, if the depth is bad in dynamic rendering, that how you handle the store and load ops in the pre and post fragment bit, you can end up with weird stuff happening. So as far as I can tell, this is how you're supposed to do it, but I will throw in store, although this is going to be slower. And just to be, because I've made a mistake here before in the past, and it was to do with the late fragment shader, the late stage. I think that's late store. Yeah, it's hard to say if there's an issue until I resize the window. Bing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got validation errors, thankfully. I've had to disable them in Linux because it triggers every single time with synchronization issues. If I turn on synchronization and validation, a breakpoint appears as a pain in the neck. So is there anything else before that? Cool. Okay, so that's actually quite useful. Hello, everyone. Is it too complicated compared to creating a global game engine that you build? Sorry. What are you referring to? Feel Sefi? Is it too complicated? Is it too far complicated compared to create the global game engine that you build? Let me try and think. It's not too complicated to make your own game engine. It just depends on what you're trying to do with your own game engine. Sometimes it's actually easier to make your own game engine in some cases, like making compared to a physics engine. Physics engines are very difficult in their own way. I just decided to not write my own physics engine so I could get other stuff done. I've written a physics engine in the past. I don't want to do that again for this particular project. It was fun. If you have validation areas of any kind, yes. I don't have validation errors. I have validation warnings, and it gets triggered anyway. I could get rid of the warnings. Let's just do that for now. So that's just going to make my life easier. No, what am I doing? We don't have breakpoints in this. That would be GDB if we're going to use that. We don't. This isn't a full ID. This is just a text editor. Sorry, I had a brain aneurysm right there. So you're not wrong there, Ratchet. I do 100% agree with you. We've got to fix this. So anyway, let's look at the validation error. So I'm just going to copy this into something else because we can't see the whole error message. In the scuff setup of Linux. Yeah, my Linux is particularly scuffed, so okay, so when we create the window, this wasn't here before, by the way, so actually, was it? Okay, so bear with me for a minute because I actually do want to see the difference between the two. So you're going to have to put up with a bit of a compilation build time. I hope that's fine with everyone. If I go to Git... Oh, I need to do it through Visual Studio, actually. And I need to open my GitHub. So we're on the space branch. So I'm going to check the differences between this branch and another branch. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I should change to dark mode. Okay, hopefully that did it. No. Go dark mode. Okay. What is happening? Okay, that for some reason it's being stupid, so so I'm gonna take this commit and we're just gonna move to this. And we're just going to see if we get the same validation error. And then we're going to like investigate the code. Oh, git stash. And then clean. Hi, hi, Hulkada. I don't know where my mouth went then. If your engine supports other language, I may use it. My engine's going to be a bit messy. A manual. Not the right place / time to ask, but can you please take some time to explain what pole size is for in creating descriptor pools? Oh, pool size. Being self-learning Vulkan and the spec is confuses me. So you're talking pool size. Where do I create my descriptor pools? I assume that which tutorial are you using, by the way, to learn Vulkan? Or are you just like learning through reading the spec? Because there's an old tutorial called Vulkan-tutorial, which I wouldn't recommend using. And it's unfortunately the most popular thing on Google. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I was just gonna go to mine. But let's start building before we do anything else. Okay, here we are. This is what I was after. Okay, so that's gonna take a minute. Yeah, number of descriptors. So yeah, that's basically it. I have a list of descriptors that I'm going to use based on sampler and text, all the different types, which I don't even use. I only use like these two really, and uniform, buffer, there he is, and storage. So yeah, it's just like you can have a list of different descriptor types and the number of elements for that. You don't have to make it an array if you're just going to use combined image samplers for textures, for example. Yeah, that's all it is. Oh, music is not playing. Music, why aren't you playing? I'll turn it up a bit and see if you can you guys hear it. It's usually... Tell me if you can hear this. I can't. I'm playing it on YouTube and through OBS right now, so it sounds exactly the same. One descriptor pool size describes the number of descriptors that can be allocated. Yes, there you go. That's more details. I'm using the Cronus Vulkan guide. Vulkan HPP and... Oh, you're using not the C API, you're using the C++ API. The only reason I don't use I don't know about Vulkan resource acquisition is initialization. The reason I don't use the C++ interface is because it takes last time I saw it took way longer to compile in comparison to the C API header, the .h1. Resource acquisition is initialization is the wrong abstraction for the GPU side. Let me think about that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to think if that makes sense for me in my brain. So if you have resource, it is blah blah blah, and you create an object and initialize it at the same time, is that going to be an issue? I will look for comments in your engine. Yeah, my comments are a bit thin. My engine is a bit of a mess right now. Someone tried to work on it, and the honest truth is it's not ready to be worked on. So if it is a bit hard to read, I do apologize. Because it's like everything's kind of like not a mess or anything. It's just I'm kind of in the middle of development. So this is what the state was the engine before. And what we're looking for is... No, we still got the same... Interesting. So we have this. We've had the same validation error the whole time. Okay, that's good to know, because now we can... I had to confirm that it wasn't something that I did in the last commit, so I won't look at the things that I did in the last commit now. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to wait again to go back again. Hopefully that's okay. But yeah, we can't... I have to be sure that when this is done, this wasn't broken in the last build. So cd git checkout space and status and clean. What's up, D3? Oh, D3. I did it again. Yeah. Consider lifetime of the GPU, resource acquisition. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get in my head. I was trying to... a deferred deletion queue is way better. Yes, that's what I do. To delete things at the proper time. That's why Vulkan RAII users end up just spamming shared pointers everywhere. Interesting. Yeah. I can see that can go wrong. 100%, yeah. So Ratchet, what Ratchet's talking about, I'll explain that briefly why we end up compiling again. Thank you for being so patient, guys, but I'll show this. By the way, don't feel like you're doing something wrong. If it's working for you, I would say it's not. Yeah, you can probably still use a... I didn't even make anything. So if I go to, just so people know what we're talking about, because some people are newer to this. Okay, so I have like, this is in different places of the code base, but I basically add a bunch of things that need to be deleted to my queue. And if it's an invalid frame, basically we've freed all the resources. So effectively we go through the queue and then extract the resource handles for each thing and delete it basically then. Like use the actual Vulkan stuff that we actually delete it then. Which means like what Ratchet said is you want to delete, you got to be careful deleting stuff, because a bit of a Vulkan lesson if people don't know this. You can sometimes run a Vulkan command or a Vulkan function that instantly returns on the CPU side, but then takes time on the GPU side, and you can end up like deleting a resource that you thought wasn't being used, but is still being used by the GPU. Because of that feedback that you get an instant return on a function or something. Very, very common. The most common thing that happens with that is the VK submit. VKQ submit. That will return instantly on the GPU. Sorry, on the CPU side. So this, but it takes. It's gonna do actual work on the CPU. GPU. Sorry, I keep getting my things wrong. So yeah. Oh, you're learning both at the same time? Yeah. Go for it, dude. You know, if you can do it, yeah. No problem. No problem, Nilo. See you in a minute, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, you can't put a breakpoint here, for example, and be like, okay, everything's finished. I mean, you might, considering how long it takes to render a frame, but that's not how it works. You know, in theory, you could have like a really expensive stage and some submission thing that takes a really long time, longer than a second, and even a breakpoint won't even show you what's happening. Or you could say, if you set up Tracy, and it's you've got a trace going on here, that would probably be more accurate. Breakpoints are probably a bit too slow, and it's telling you this is executing in 0.00000001 milliseconds or something. Like, that's not actually accurate. Yeah, I'm I'm glad I can be. I'm glad I can be useful at least then. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never actually seen the resource acquisition is initialization. I didn't even know it existed. Okay, so back at it again. We have the things compiling. And... oh, hang on. I saw something else. Let's ignore all that. Okay, warning. Validation is set up. Everything's very slow. Okay. I was just making sure that wasn't an actual error. I don't know why this is a warning, to be honest. It's a bit annoying. But anyway, let's resize the window. Okay, actually, we can read the... I mean, it's dark mode. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Put it in nano. Something like that, I don't know. I think we're just going to put up with it being light, like the old computer days. Okay, so BK swap chain recreate. Let's just actually make sure this is going to have the same issue. So we should hopefully have the same issue in our console window. Yes, okay, so the same error. This might be a really simple one, so that's nice. Hope. So image, which is outside the bounds by the... So these are bigger than that. I think what might be happening is I'm saying the size of the whole window, which includes this bit here. I will, because it looks like the width is not that much different. Now, why? No, hang on. Why would the width be different if it's including the title? So all I'm going to do then is for this create image extent, I'm going to get the swap chain capabilities and set that to the actual whatever I'm setting here for the creation struct inside this. Because I'm clearly getting, I think what I'm doing is I'm getting this window size from SDL, and I don't think it's reporting actually what the swap chain size, the new swap chain size is. So that's my guess anyway. So we're gonna do that. I think it's funny. I've had this bug ever since I've learned Vulkan, and it just keeps coming back. It never goes away. Okay, so yeah, let's just check this is the right thing. So this is the create. No. So that's not what we're interested in. This is for creating a skybox, which actually needs to integrate properly into the engine. It currently is not integrated. The swap chain though, yes, no texture. And here we are. Okay, so yeah, so we get them from the windows. And I think what we should be doing is getting it from the swap chain capabilities. Yeah, I'm 100% behind everyone who's talking in chat. You guys are on. You're on it. You're all very smart dudes. Gesture code. I don't think that's necessarily controversial. A specific pixel window in. You're right. Maybe I should try getting my pixel windows or something to work. But for now, what I'm going to do is do the simplest and just see if it works. Right. I do believe that this, if I go into the documentation, which again I'll try to go dark mode. I wish there was a dark mode, to be honest. There we go. Okay. So max. I think it's max image extents. I probably want. Not minimum. Minimum is probably 0, 0. So if I do. Oh no, that's not what I want. Oh, is it? Hang on, I've got to make sure this is for the right thing. Did I do the right thing here? Swap chain capabilities. So we'll. Am I doing something daft? I should just try and get the correct size from the Get the actual pixel count rather than the window count. Yeah. Because you said that, Ratchet, I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe I got something wrong. Get size in pixels, yes. But maybe when we do this equals... Oh no, okay, so let's do another space to rule out some conditions. Get size in pixels. So when this dies, what? So we get this. Interesting. What should it be then? It should be... Okay, so this is out of bounds. So this is wrong, right? Get window size in pixels. I wonder what it would need it to be then. Okay, let's just do what I said I was going to do then, because I'm not entirely sure. I thought I wasn't getting the size in pixels. But maybe, actually, maybe let's have a look online. Or Vulkan pixel size or something. If I can't find something quick, I will just go back to do what I was doing. If I can limit the tracking I need for resources, then why not? Yeah, basically. No. Don't rely on this for swap chain size. Interesting. When was this published? Should we try dark mode again? No, we're just on light mode with that. Anyway. Acquire swap chain texture. If the instance fixed. Okay. Maybe null due to back pressure. Alright, so I don't exactly know why this is not working. I understand what they're saying, but I don't understand exactly what they're talking about. In the sense that they're talking about a different function and comparing it. But anyway, resize swap chain. Let's fix it the way I was going to fix it and just see what happens to this particular error. That's SDL2. I think I'm on SDL3, I think. Or I could be completely wrong. Window event data 1 and 2. I believe that's only SDL2. Oh no, you're in SDL3. You said yesterday. No, you're definitely on SDL3. Literally said your dependencies yesterday. Okay, anyway. Max extent. No, that's not right. Let's go back to our thing. Bring this in. Width. And then... height. Failed to save. What? What are you talking about, dude? Just do what I said. Stop trying to be helpful. Okay. Now, when we create the swap chain, Okay, so we got pushed inside a sphere, which I don't think doesn't matter. Looks good. And no, okay, so that is working now. No? What? No validation errors. Yet we're crashed. What the heck? Okay, let's try that again. Right. Okay, so the music stopped. I think I can move on. It's a bit chaotic, this music. I like Maelstrom anyway better. The other thing I noticed on Linux is we're not quite colliding with the actual geometry for some reason. I don't quite understand this. How the duck is going into the collision geometry. Don't know. Anyway, so full screen. This might be a disaster trying to close a full screen window that crashes. But I noticed that it doesn't crash when we do this. I'm going to keep going. You're probably stuck waiting on a semaphore that never fired. Validation errors would... Yeah, just check the validation. Let's confirm that I've got the validation on, just in case. So I've got sync and validation on. And I'm going to log just because I'm a bit paranoid. The last thing I want to do is think that everything's working fine and I've accidentally commented stuff out. Nope. Okay, so that's everything. These three macros do other things, like print out to the screen. Anyway, but I will look at my semaphores again, don't get me wrong. No, I don't see anything that's wrong. Oh, sorry, blinded you there. Camera went inside the asteroid. What I'm hoping for is also like everything to break down. So it's like when I go too small, which I don't understand. Yeah. And then it doesn't work anymore. Let's how do I want to do this? GDB maybe? Or do I care? I don't know. This is something I've been thinking about with resizing the window. Right. Here's a big issue, which I think I can demonstrate that I have when it comes to calculating the offset when the mouse. So like we can move the mouse around fine, right? There's a bit of jitteriness for some reason. I'm not going to try and fix that immediately, but if I like, for example, make it okay. I wonder, right, if it's crashing sometimes. Am I getting the right? Am I doing the same thing I was doing wrong last time, where I was using the what is it called? The image index instead of the current frame versus the image index? Because that's entirely possible. Why are these changed? Yeah, let's Alright, I'm just gonna put these back to... No, wrong way around. Not that it matters too much, but... VK layout, color attachment. Depth attachments. Source access mask. 2. And color attachment 2 and 2. All right. Okay, that's just a quick thing I wanted to fix there. I think it's Wayland, as far as I can tell. I think Neofetch, does Neofetch tell us? I think it's been on Wayland for a while now. I don't see it. Maybe it's not on here. No, I don't know. I think I'm on Wayland. I tried to upgrade to Wayland once and it kind of broke everything because I was already on it. Yeah, it looks... That's true. It's not crashing. Are you sure you're handling the special case? One of the special cases I'm definitely not handling is when you resize to 0. But I think that might be just a... let me think. What I could do is swap... Oh, man. Move stuff around. So this was... Let me... Originally, this was here. Down... Right, I'm just going to make the changes. I know people are like, well, this is not going to do anything, but... I remember this working better when... This and this were in a different place as well. And... These were here, I think. And... What else? Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna have to open up GDB. At some point anyway. Let me just do this. Oh. What? Oh, that's not a thing. Okay. What is it? What is it called now? I couldn't remember where the color was. VK image. Oh, I spelled color wrong. I spelled color wrong. I spelled it the correct way, but everyone uses the American spelling. Grr. I'm very annoyed. Okay, that makes sense why it's telling me off, at least. Alright. Let's just check this runs. And it doesn't. Let me open terminal. GDB. Yeah, so we just need to run game. Oh, where are we? Okay, good. Or... I really have to do void? I can't remember. I can't remember much. This is not good. Help. Yeah, this is not that complicated. I just can't remember how to run something. Yeah, let me just get up a cheat sheet. GDB. It's been a while since I've done this. I think the last time I did this was on stream nearly a month ago. GDB. Cheat sheet. Cheat sheet. Yeah, I'm just trying to run the application. So, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. What? Get out of GDB. Weird. Okay, let's see. I don't think it's working because this is not running. When I click, yeah, that's just errors out for some reason. Why is Linux so annoying? Let me think what to do. Okay, run. We did this last time, didn't we? I just can't remember how to get it going. And then go. What? I thought, where are we? I keep. We're I'm so confused. I love the, oh my god, for the love of all, this holy VS Code for it. I don't use it as a debugger. And it was just an absolute pain. This was more of a pain. Listen, if we, look, there's no like, if I put this here, for example, and then I do this, this should happen as soon as the frame runs. See. This is not getting triggered. This just makes a nice little red dot. That's effectively all this does. Yeah, all OSs are annoying. Are you on Arch Linux, by the way, all the time? Ratchet. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to try and get this to run by itself, because I think if I run this here, right? Okay, so it does still run. Okay, so I think that's the big issue right now. Which means I've got to put these in. I've got to export my LD library path. Give me a minute. If I go to my LD library path. Bash RC. Nope. Right, okay, so let's see. It's already exported out. Is that still the same path? Oh, you use Windows 11. No, I thought you've said you've used Arch Linux in the past. So I think I'm trying to use a debugger when I can't even launch the application, which isn't good. I don't know what's missing though. That's the question. So if I open this and it works with it, let's see what it does. So it literally just says current working directory LD library path, then launch void. And if I open the terminal and just, I don't know why I'm making this complicated, void, should be able to see standard out and see why does it start crying? What? How does it run then? I'm confused. Okay. GDB, ignore that. GDB, GDB. Void? No. What does it want? I'm confused. Like how? Oh, it's okay. It's done. Okay. Then we do run. Haha! There we go. Yay! We did it. Holy flipping heck! That took forever. Apologies for the. Okay. Wait. This is Control XI. No, what? How'd you get the text editor up? Hang on. GDB. I see. You deleted Arch. Never mind. You'll still be an Arch developer at heart. Now there's a... Alright, screw it. We're going to have to watch this tutorial again. I forgot. I've literally basically forgotten everything because I haven't taken notes on it. Hopefully that's cool. It was... I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay.
This masterclass, I'm going to teach you...
Yeah, it's a masterclass because I'm a master.
My name's Mike, and I'm going to be your instructor. This is going to be a brief crash course.
That's all I want to know, to be honest.
Clear the screen, and let's run our program once more. So I can do that again with start. However, the GDB that you saw there, it's a little bit hard to see in this view by listing the source code, what's going on. So I'm going to hit Control-X1 and enter the text user interface for GDB. So I'm going to hit Control-X1.
Control-X1. Okay, so let's do this again. Control-X1. There we go. I don't know why it's so small, but hey, there we are. And then How do we do breakpoints again?
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now let's have some weird text that sometimes gets printed out here. I can hit Control L again to refresh things and hit Enter again until our program terminates. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now let's add a little bit more power to GDB into how we can investigate things that go on. There's a common technique where if we want to see what the value of a variable is, we print it out. So for instance, before we perform this code,
nice. I'm glad you're getting started, Spectral.
What if we could see prior to that, say if we have a bunch of different operations here that occur.
Yes.
String literal here. Okay. And it says the program's already being debugged and asks us if we want to, and the console.log statements or cout, depending on whatever language you're using, can get very. And let's go ahead and.
How do you add a breakpoint? No, so it's you do it by file and name. I think I remember now. It's coming back to me. So where file and name? Yes. Okay. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go to GDB. We're going to open up. Going to break on. What's going to break now? I've spent so long trying to remember this. What we've I completely forgot. I'm gonna have to relaunch the game. Hang on. Oops. Okay, so we're back up to where we were roughly. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I can't be convinced because I would have to set up the whole debugger. Like I'm not even, like I said, I'm just using it as a text editor. So like run and debug. Like I'm using like the compilers set up differently. But yeah, we'll do it. I'll show you what I mean. It's not set up. There's no JSON file. You know, I can click this. Doesn't do anything. So it's not set up to do it. There's no the CMake project file generates make files messing around with it, pressing the wrong things. So the CMake my project literally just generates make files. As you see that there, I don't know if you can see it. Here, that's what I'm looking at. So when I actually compile, it's literally just a big. I can cat out the make file probably. So CMake has generated all this. There's no JSON files that the Visual Studio language compiles. The only reason I'm using this as a text editor is because I know the keyboard shortcuts because of Visual Studio. Because I'm mostly a Windows dev, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Yeah, I also don't have the Windows extension. Installed either, because that was just causing a bunch of false IntelliSense errors all over the place. It was quite irritating, to be honest, so I kind of was like, yeah, forget it. Anyway, so let's run this project, and so it's literally just a text. Don't think of it as an IDE. It can be an IDE. It can be a text editor. It's just a text editor that has syntax highlighting. In my case, obviously. What are we looking for again? Oh yeah, the resize. So recreate swap chain. Yes, let's. Okay, so we need to find where that is. And also, it has a hierarchical view of files, which makes things easier for me. So we need to go into the resize swap chain. Swap chain. And okay, so it is line. Where's our GDB at? So file GPU device. I don't know if I need the whole thing, like CPP maybe. Yeah, probably. And the line was. Where's the thing I want? 2,000, no, 2,505 and 7. 2,507. Nice. Alright. So do we run or do we start to that? No. I think we start. No. How do we... Okay. 1 second. Run, kill, delete, watch. When it goes to the next breakpoint. Okay, let's do this again. How do we... Is it step? I think it's step, isn't it? Whoops, my bad. No. Step. Oh no, that's how you step one thing at a time. Okay, nope. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a different cheat sheet, I think, or just watch that whole video, which I'm trying not to do because it is kind of boring. Ah, that's the one I used, I think, last time. Watch, backtrace, break, delete. How about LLVM? Yeah, that's how escape points work. CMakes work. I just haven't used LLVM. Continue, that's the one. That's the one. That's not how you spell continue. There we go. And hopefully when we resize, so Control L. Nice. And here we are. Okay, so what do I want to do? So I'm going to say next. Whoops, next. And next. I'm just going to keep saying next until we freeze. Just see why. I think we just press N actually. Yeah. Oh. Delete. Hang on. Why is this here? This isn't good. Resize Vulkan texture. And then we wait on the idle. I have a sneaking suspicion that something's wrong with all this. Hang on, let's just go next. Okay. Yeah, this is... No, okay, so we're coming out the function. And... Step out. How do you step out again? Step out. That's stepping in. Oops. Yo, Shadow, how you doing? If you're interested in doing backend stuff with Python, I'm making Python modules that makes it easier to do. Are you like spawning a daemon? No, I was just trying to figure out. I was just trying to remember the commands to actually debug. And it looks like if I Now what is it? Continue. What? We didn't see this before. Let's do Control L, sorry. Oh, no we can't. I think we're all screwed up here. So yeah, the UI is messed up, but I can't refresh it because we've... is less than... So we're in GDB at the moment and we're debugging why the image height and width values are incorrect. It's the same error, look at it. Remember this guy? These numbers? Yeah, so these are bigger. So our dynamic rendering is also picking up the wrong values. That's interesting. It wasn't coming up earlier, but that's an easy one to fix. Dynamic rendering, but the thing is, I need to swap chain capabilities now. Yeah, so these guys are wrong. Let me go back actually. And what I'm gonna do is kind of set these guys up to be you can see what I'm probably going to do. I'm going to set the window width and height to these values, and I think I can do that because everything's public as far as I can tell. I should do this first actually, because obviously the swap chain height, I forgot why I went away from the max swap chain height and width. But anyway, this is crashed, so, well, not crashed, paused forever. Make all. So yeah, here we are. We're so we should hopefully not get any issues initially. And when I resize the window, no, it also didn't work. But now I get to see what the change we made in GDB. Now I can actually use it because I learned how again. So yes, so this is all gone to poop. Start, and I hope that we have. Oops. I hope we still have the same debug. Sorry, the same breakpoint, even though we've modified the code. So Control L. Yep. And I think I'm going to go to in here. Yeah, okay, so watch and window. See if how intelligent this is. How intelligent. Can you work out this, my good sir? Oh no, it's print. I meant to say not watch. I mean, watch does help, but you have to do something else. Nope, not printing. Control L maybe? Nope. Nope. Okay. We are completely jammed up here. Yep, okay. I don't know why that caused everything to have a meltdown, but there we are. Close this. Is this already closed? Funny question I have. What is the philosophy behind enduring Vulkan? To get better as a developer in general. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work off stream to try and become better, and Vulkan is just one aspect of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put these in their own variable, and do height. You know what I might do? Not one day, but soon. I might learn how to use like Tmux and Vi again. Or Vim even. Because then that would be nice to have both the text editor and... But the problem is I just don't have a... I love this tree view on the side. Let's do this, because otherwise we won't see what it is. And what I'm interested in is when I set these values, are they the same? Like, has it actually successfully copied over? And I think GDB obviously didn't like what I did, so let's do W2 and uint32 h2 window. And there we go. Set up the VS double got off stream. It'll make you a better developer. I almost want to do the opposite, where I completely don't even use Visual Studios anymore, just because of that. Where I just like, okay, I'm going to use Vi, straight Vi, and Tmux, and then GDB on the side. And actually go full out. But I'm not a Linux developer, admittedly, so a lot of what you're seeing is just like me fumbling around, which, you know, is not ideal, obviously. You know, I do apologize the fact that I'm not as quick, and it's a little annoying sometimes for some people, I guess. GDB. And void start, and was it x1? Nope. There we go. And then we want to add the breakpoint back in at GPU device dot cpp. Oops. 2507. Break. Continue. You mean like having a text editor and a debugger in one window? That would be crazy. Oh no, wait, that's not crazy. That's just Visual Studio. Yeah, I deserve some rizzing. I should have been a bit more prepared to debug in Linux. I main NeoVim for all my dev and file editing. You can easily have a tree view. Oh, okay, that's cool. And Tmux, I couldn't live without Tmux. Yeah, 100%. I've learned Tmux once, like many years ago, and it was like absolutely fantastic. Okay, so we just whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's resize the window. I think that'll trigger the breakpoint. And then Control L. I think NeoVim is really good for getting into the flow, but sometimes low level things like Vulkan, you need a profiler. I wish I was just as cool as you. It's funny you say that. People in the chat currently don't think I'm cool at all. So there we are. Where's the breakpoint, dude? Oh, there it is. Okay, so... Huh? Why are we in destroy swap chain? Did things really move that much? Okay, let's just next out of here. Okay, cool. Resize swap chain. NNS. Okay, and okay, so print W, print H. Okay, cool. Now print W2. Print H2, which I doubt is any different. Okay, so the question is, once I've done this and continue, what the heck ends up happening? Destroy swap chain. Do I have, what the heck? Okay, just gotta remember to refresh. But recently I started writing GUI in C with KTH library because board of web technologies. Nice. I hope whatever you're making ends up really cool. I've only used Qt really for a UI library, and I'm GUI obviously for this type of stuff. So anyway, let's continue. I don't know why we didn't continue past that. We have 2 breakpoints for some reason. And okay, so we're in the window. We're in this application. Interesting. Okay, so next. I kind of need to put a breakpoint in a different place, to be honest. Let's put a breakpoint. Oops, not. Oh, okay. I guess we have to delete that. I assume D is delete, but I'll type that out as well, just in case. Can I just put the file number? Are you smart enough to work that out? Oh. No, you're not. Okay. GPU device .cpp 2480. Okay, apparently there's not a breakpoint there, according to. But anyway, let's ignore that for a minute. Because I want to put a breakpoint here. Yeah, B. And then we're going to continue. Okay, so Control L. What happened? Okay, so we need to delete that one. Delete. That was an accident. Oh, I see. This has just been left. Delete device. Device.cpp 2507. Continue. I hope they're deleting. It's not updating the. Fine. We'll just put up with it. Okay, so what? Print swap chain. Right. Let's just. This should be the. Yeah. Okay. Then print swap chain height. Continue. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to like figure out why my deleting of breakpoints is not deleting anything. Oh, I can just delete them all. Fantastic. Oh, that's how you do it. Sorry, I made a mistake. Let's just delete. Control L, maybe? No. What do you want to do? Am I in the game? Okay. Resize the window. Control L, delete. That gets rid of all of them. Yep. Thank goodness. So now we can actually go to where I want and actually add a breakpoint where I care about. And B. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now we're good. Continue. I thought it was like you had to do the file name and stuff. So continue. Continue. Thank you. Interesting, it's not breaking now. I don't know why. So let's go really small. This is where it goes wrong. Control L. So what do we have? We have print. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what this is. What? That seems too big. Way too big. My eyesight is in the complete wrong place to see that chat window. So if I'm missing something, I apologize. I'll look in a minute. That's not right. That's too big. Okay, so if the size is too big, then what? Yeah, it just throws up, I think. I don't understand. How did that get it that wrong? Like, everything's just wrong there. The values are completely wrong. Currently I'm grinding maths from Professor Leonard. I want to make a 2D game engine. Nice. Who's Professor Leonard? I'm actually kind of curious. Damn, good luck. What is a swap chain? It's a Vulkan concept, but it's used basically... The swap chain in general allows you to do something called double buffering, where you write to one image that's not on the screen in memory. And once that's finished, you swap from one image that's in memory to the one that's on the screen. And then the one that's in the screen then goes back to memory. And then you write to that. And then the one that's on screen then goes and swaps places. And you basically just swap a pointer around that points to two different buffers. That's a swap chain where we have these. That's the general idea of double buffering. So it allows you to do that. Sorry, I shouldn't say the swap chain. Swap chain is more than that, but it's a Vulkan concept that allows us to do double buffering, triple buffering with multiple buffers that write to the screen. Anyway, so. If I wait, I doubt it doesn't know false quit. What does GDB say when we do this? I'm kind of curious. It's a very strange error. I don't understand it. Yeah, we render ahead of time, so we render, otherwise we would end up, you can end up with this. This is, in the simplest case, the idea is so you can, let's just say the graphics card is twice as fast as the presentation engine. You can interact with the swap chain in a way that it stops the screen from tearing. So let's just imagine that you can present half the screen before the GPU is ready with another image. You can end up like writing half the screen, and then the other half gets written with something else, and then another half gets written with something else, and another half gets written with something else. That's called vertical tearing or V-tearing. And the swap chain in Vulkan allows you to interact with that kind of stuff. I literally have no idea what's going on here. Is it? Oh, what? Wait, did it? Are we back? Are we in the game? What's going on? No. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't know. Let's. Yeah. Let's Control L. Okay. How hard is it to get a job with Vulkan as a skill? Difficult question for me to answer that. I've never had a job where my primary focus was graphics using Vulkan. It's tougher. It's not Vulkan itself. Sorry, that's my computer, not your computer. If you heard that Windows noise, I'm on Linux, surprisingly. Windows noises. No, sorry. Let me answer that properly. It takes a lot of effort to become a graphics programmer, and typically that's what you'll end up using Vulkan for. It's just a highly competitive and niche field where a lot of people are extremely good at their craft. So it is a harder field to get into. And a lot of people want you to kind of be a generalist, where they want you to know DirectX and OpenGL and all these things. That's what the job adverts typically say. But that's just me. Maybe someone else would say like, oh, it's that easy to get a job with Vulkan. It's just skill issues. But I think it's hard to get a job as a programmer in general right now. It's just kind of the environment. Okay, so what we're going to do is... I don't know why this is breaking in a very specific ratio when it gets too small. It breaks in two different ways. Sorry, it breaks with... Everything I've done has not changed anything. Yeah, knowing a bunch of stuff is good. I'll agree with that 100%. So like a little resize, everything's fine. Except the ratio of the screen is wrong, so the calculations are all weird. It's fine. Hang on. Is it 3 resizes in and it breaks or something? I do not understand. I'm going to get rid of the resize of the depth image as well. This is tricky. Or is it? It's not this. It's the recreate swap chain at the bottom. No, there it is. Yeah, what is this for? What are we doing here? No, they've taken the same values, so... Let's get rid of this pause as well. Maybe that's going to help. The ones you'll get jobs are consoles, APIs. You will have to learn them on the job. Interesting law. It's full of... It's a full Ouroboros. Cool. Thanks for your insight, dude. Okay, so I'm not freezing the device anymore. No, it's just the same deal. Okay, one thing checked. Oh wait. Let that false quit. So we are for I think there's an O'Reilly book. Oh really? Changing stuff and seeing what happens. Oh, the music. Let me turn on the music. Yeah, so this is what we're doing right now. How to actually learn a new programming concept. Changing stuff and seeing what happens. There we go. So I don't know if that's hopefully that's not lost on literally everyone in the chat, but yeah, a bit of a nice parody. So let's comment this out. Okay, thanks. I really like C++ and graphics in general, but I haven't committed to learn to it yet. Yeah, it's you can definitely do it 100%. It's one of those things where it's like you have to be kind of multidisciplined when it comes to graphics. Like you have to learn like maths and how the graphics card works and like an API. So that's why it's tougher. It's a higher skill ceiling. But if you're passionate about it, you can definitely learn it. So here's my question: why are we even doing that depth clear thing? Now we've lost it completely now. This chat has grown, man. Ah, cool, yeah. There we go. That's a thing. Oh, what, graphics theory? Yeah, and this community is very passionate about graphics as well. So if you are interested in learning graphics, you know, feel free to hang around and join the Discord and stuff, and you'll probably find a bunch of like-minded people who are interested in the same thing as you, and keep you motivated if you are interested when times get tough. Because it's not all easy peasy, unfortunately. But then learning something difficult is, you know, what is it? It's something worth doing is never easy. And I think this is really worth learning, so. But I can't tell you it's going to be easy. That's why I'm trying to get stuff working on Linux and not giving up on it. But this is a strange error because I don't. Unfortunately, it only happens some of the time. Maybe. Hang on. Right. Let's try for it. Let's try. The problem is with GDB right now is if we've got a pause on the GPU and we're completely locked up on the GPU. It won't matter what the CPU side's doing. So I can all day try and get this to work, right? And what I'm going to do is put this at the top and see if we can wait idle device. So that means that everything's kind of synchronized up. Because if it's not happening every single frame, not every single resize, we might be accidentally hitting it on like the frame it needs to be resized on. Or something like that, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do like a super heavyweight synchronization right at the beginning and see how that affects things. Yeah, to get a job in graphics programming, you really have to make it your life. If you are good enough to get a job, though, you're generally hard to replace. Exactly, that's the thing. If you can get a job as a Thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that spectral, by the way. It's that's the perfect way of summing it up. So let's just say it's easier to get a web programming job, but then that also means you're easier to replace. And if you're like a cracked graphics programmer, then you're hard to replace. But it's hard to become a cracked graphics programmer, and that's why you're hard to replace. Yeah. So thank you, Spectral. That's actually like a really insightful way of putting it. Which to me is just straight up motivating. That actually makes me want to become a really good graphics programmer, more than anything. Then, okay, no, you don't bounce back. No, you are locked up, and I think it's because we're hitting something where it's like getting completely paused. Yo, hello, back again. Back at it again, coming back. Hopefully you're having a great day. I'm not sure what you're up to, but you definitely sound busy. Right, so this... Yeah, there'll be no... I don't think there'll ever be a boot camp to like learn how to write graphics software. If that makes sense. Like there was with boot camps to learn web dev. But I just, like I said, I think that's super motivating. Gets me fired up thinking about it. Yo, Zo. It's because I get bored. No problem. I need to have. I know you're 13, so you're like a zoomer. So I need like I need something here entertaining, like some brain rot or something. Yeah, I admittedly this sometimes is a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's boring for me sometimes. I know it seems funny to say that, but I just try and stick at it and keep going no matter what, even if it is tough. Like as soon as this stream's finished, for example, I'm gonna read my book on threading and write threading software because I need to get better at that, and that's CPU threading. Because this needs to become multi-threaded at some point. But again, I just get like fired up by the fact that that's difficult to do. I don't know what to do here. I'm completely and utterly lost. Let's do something else. Let's when it comes to resizing this swap chain, let's remove all the safeguards, right? And just see how it handles resizing without the safeguards in place. Because I think we might be in an infinite return. Or something's happening where we're kind of stuck and we're getting jammed up, and I can't exactly figure out why. So if it's the GPU getting jammed up, what I think we should do is we should remove all the safety guards and watch it fall apart. Because if it's half correct, then we're applying some code that kind of works and then kind of breaks at the wrong time. So where's that code that I'm looking for? It's here somewhere. What have I changed? Okay, I'm just going to press Control Z the whole time for a minute. Just going to tolerate this for a sec. Okay, that I do want to... No. Whoa. Did not mean to press that button. Yeah, it's Control Z. Screw it. Yeah, put some Subway Surfer below. Yeah, gotta do that to become a big streamer. I'm still not into the Vulkan community that much yet, but how is it though in your experience? Fantastic, honestly. If you go to the Vulkan Discord server, for example, like he has made a bunch. The lead moderator there, has made a bunch of Vulkan talks, and he works like Luna G, and that's just an example of like one person who's like really cool, despite the fact that he's like already experienced and doesn't have to do anything to really help anyone out in that Discord server. He just does anyway. So in general, the Vulkan community themselves has been really nice to me, at least. they've helped me out here and there and, all, and stuff like that. I think that's probably because there's less of us. I do actually know a lot of them by name, but they don't know me by name at all. I think, yeah, to get good at this is tough, so I think there's less people who are prepared to do that. Anyway, ramble. Okay, so that's the thing that doesn't work. I think we... what might be happening... Okay, I'm going to try something really simple. No, let me think. Instead of just trying stuff. So this is a validation error that we saw earlier. We can fix this, but it doesn't fix the error, if that makes sense. So, yes, we've got a validation error. And I'm almost tempted to say that the validation error hasn't gone away once we try to fix it in the way we do. It's still there. And because of that... I could be wrong with that because the validation layers are often really, really good. But I don't understand the difference. Right, we've got UB at the moment, which means undefined behavior, just for people who don't know. That's the... For people who don't know much about Vulkan, if you have a undefined behavior... If you continue to run past a validation error, even if you continue to work, you've got undefined behavior. You can't assume that anything works past this point. It's often garbage after this point. But I'm tempted to say that we still have a validation error that's not being picked up or something. I just want Microsoft to make Visual Studio for Linux because I prefer using Visual Studio. What were you doing while I was gone? Not much, unfortunately. Just learning how to use GDB for the second time, and which is a debugger. Do you use VK Bootstrap or bother with... I do all the boilerplate myself. So that's maybe part of the problem here. So yeah, we unfortunately haven't made much progress. What was I doing? I went backwards for something. Give me a second, I've just got to think. This is only a problem on Linux. This is the thing I don't understand. There's no issue on Windows at all. And we only get this validation layer on Linux. We don't get this validation layer on... this validation error on Windows. So there is a driver difference here that I can't quite figure out. Or an SDL difference between the two different versions that are causing this particular type of error, which I'm kind of confused about. What I'm tempted to do, honestly, is go back in time and just figure out what I did to the... Because before I fixed the synchronization bugs, the resize window worked. Yeah. But I'll do that soon, actually, because I... Okay. Swap chain capabilities. Let's... And this swap chain image thing. Max. Max image extends, I think. Extent. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's worth looking it up, yeah. Because we end up... Yeah, it is right. Okay, so I got it right. Yeah. Dot width. Now it says this also is wrong with the dynamic rendering, but I can fix that there too. And even set this value so it. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Height. So we're going to do that. And it's going to fix that, but it's not going to fix it everywhere. We just got to do the dynamic rendering. Yeah, okay, so where is it? Yeah, so we need to set the window width. That's what we did last time. There's nothing I can do. In fact, let's just make this simpler. If it's gonna work, we're gonna do it this way. Comment this out here, put this. So we're not going to use this window width that we got from the SDL library. So make all. Would you make a video what's everything now in air? Oh, in the air engine? This is supposed to be like the improved version of that, although it's the simpler version right now. When you were in the terminal, you look like you had summoned a demon. I tried to summon a demon. I thought you actually were talking about like Linux terms, where like you just spelled daemon wrong. Yeah, that's a debug of that. The air engine is literally, yeah, everything that's going to be in the air engine that's worth keeping is going to be in this engine. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Right, okay, so we don't get any validation errors, but everything freezes, right? Yes. Now I'm going to try this very simple idea. It's a very simple idea. Right? Just 1 pixel less. Because it needs to be between the min and max. And I'm just wondering if it's included or not included the max. So we just gotta wait for it to crash again. No, force quit. And the thing is with this, I don't really understand why this is not working with validation errors, because we are pausing the whole. I'll even put this at the top, why not? So where's the VK wait idle thing? It's in resize swap chain. Yeah, I'll throw it in here. VKQ wait. No, screw it. Q device. Sorry. VK device wait idle. Vulkan device. As far as I can tell, that's so that will get rid of any synchronization issues, because we've completely told the GPU to be paused. We also have it here, so I'm going to comment this out, and I want to at least attempt to do this at the right time. Okay, so I'm going to make, oops, going to delete this, make all. I want to check your engine so bad, but I can't because I'm at my grandma's. Yeah, never mind. You'll be able to check it out. I mean, my source code is up there. There's no executable, honestly, unless you compile it yourself. Generate dummy assets or download the assets from the last video I made on YouTube and put them in the right place, and then interesting. You see that? Okay, so that's not where you're not supposed to do that. Right. So that was wrong, but that's fine. It's kind of like a new piece of information tells me something, so it needs to be Max. Right. Max Verstappen, Max. Shoot, I forgot you literally have it public. Yeah. It's in the. It should be in the description if you actually want to check out my engine source code and look at it and see what you think and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, so that resize worked, but that doesn't tell us anything. That resize worked. Interesting. I'm kind of curious now if the resize is too quick. Okay, put the synchronization at the top and just see how that affects things. Not even of here, but of recreate swap chain. Find resize. So yeah, if anyone wants to follow along, just so if people are aware, I say this all the time, but I'll say it anyway. The engine is not in a good state to anyone to collaborate with. Honestly, it's like a bit of a mess when it comes to other people working on the actual code. The other thing is, if you want to see where we're up to exactly, like on the stream right now, you need to swap to the space branch. So it's called. So you'll obviously open in master. So this is the project. Yeah, just make sure if you actually want to see the code that we're working on right now, go to the space branch, just like that. If you've never used GitHub, there you go. That's how you do it. Oops, where are we? Okay. Hello, sir. Sorry for taking up your time, but I was struggling with design. I mean, I know C++ and OpenGL, and made some basic 2D and 3D stuff, but wanted to make something big, like an engine for long time, but doesn't know how to design it. Any tips? How to design a Unfortunately, there isn't a clean resource I can recommend and just say just follow this design, just follow this. Let me think about that. You don't have to call me sir, by the way. But thank you, and also thank you for commenting. Let me think. How would I design a new engine if I didn't know how? And you've already written some renderers. The tricky... I've generally been following the data-oriented design approach to programming, and that's helped me along the design process, because that's a lower level though. That's like how you design your algorithms and data structures, but that has influenced how I design everything on a higher level. I don't want to say it just takes experience. There's probably a resource out there. I just don't know it, unfortunately. I would say look up data-oriented design and see what you think about that. There's a great introduction video by some guy. If you type in data-oriented design. Is it not oriented design? Am I tripping? What is it called? DOD. What's DOD? No, I don't want to do dating. Oh my goodness, 2024. This is silly. Mike Acton. Yeah, it's data-oriented design. Why is YouTube not coming up with anything? I don't want to. That's a good video to watch, but I'm interested in this one. Follow that one, right? Intro to data-oriented design for games. In my opinion, that's a better introduction to what you want. There you go. Oh, what have I shared there? Yeah, that should be good. Anyway, that'll just give you like an idea of how to write, how to store your algorithms and data structures fast. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go back in time, unfortunately, to an earlier commit, and I'm probably, because I've broken this in some commit, and I'm just gonna have to go back. So I'm going to go here and just see if it works, resizing. I didn't want to do this, but we're going to have to do it. Nope, not in the build folder. Git stash, drop, git checkout. Paste. Clean. Debug. Try listening to Infernoplex by... didn't know that one. Hey, I love your videos. Oh, appreciate that, dude. I'm glad you enjoyed. You can also Google the game engine architecture type PDF. I'm not sure exactly what that would come up with, but yeah, if it comes up with something useful, you can try that. The game, if you're talking about the game engine architecture book itself, that's a very general, that's like a very high level overview of what all parts of a commercial game engine, including stuff that you'll never need to write, are used in. It's written by Jason Gregory at Naughty Dog. And yeah. So let's compile. Nah, no problem. Oh, appreciate that, dude. I didn't realize it was that motivational. Yeah. I hope someday. You will. Honestly, Vin. If you keep sticking at it every day, you'll get better and better, and then eventually you'll be giving out advice. Well, that's a new note for me. There you go. Yeah. I wish I could just solve this, honestly. Linux. Why are you different? Oh, I should say Windows, right? If I was working on Linux all the time, it'd be the other way around, where I'm struggling with Windows being stupid. You could say that. So yeah, we're going to see if the resizing works here, and we're going to see what's the difference, because I think there is a difference here somewhere in my code, and I've made a mistake in one commit. And this is also the problem with streaming almost every day. Some of the progress I make is quite. It would be. I hope people could appreciate the fact that people who are more advanced, I guess, as well. This goes out to you who might be watching. That because I'm streaming every day, sometimes my progress might be less enjoyable. I don't know, because I'm not making like leaps and bounds through my renderer and stuff like that. I am trying my best, but sometimes you're gonna have to. If I'm streaming as often as I am, which I am enjoying. Sometimes, some days we're not going to make as much progress as other days, basically. What are you using your what are you using to create the renderer? Any libraries, or how do you start with graphics on the screen from an empty CPP file? I'm using something called Vulkan. That is how we talk to the graphics driver, and that graphics driver then tells the graphics card what to do. Well, with the operating system in the middle, right? To render a triangle, you can go to howtovulkan.com, assuming that you know some C++. And you follow those steps and you take notes and you give yourself some time. It's not something you'll be able to do in... It took me a week to render my first triangle. And that's because Vulkan is set up in a very specific way that rendering a triangle is almost as difficult as rendering a full model, like a full 3D model. So, because it's built for performance, right? Okay, so let's see. So if you are interested in learning Vulkan, yeah, start with How to Vulkan. So please don't. So this is like an older version, but I think. Oh, this has never worked. Literally never worked. I swear I had this working at one point. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to go back further back. I don't understand. Before the physics. I'm just gonna have to go back before the physics was added. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Reach the baseline for the debug renderer. Fixed build on Linux. Let's go with this one. That's very disappointing. Because this means I have to do the same thing again. There is something I did differently. Let's try and do a dirty build. I hope I don't have to do a whole rebuild, because it is. Do you know that 100 dart throwing monkeys are more accurate than an AI stock predictor? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that at all. So apparently I got all the things working on Linux in this commit, so let's see what we did. But I will say learning Vulkan is difficult, just for anyone who is interested in learning. Right, let's play some different music. I'm kind of over this. I've been listening to it all day. Outside, on top of these streams. Let's go on all music. There we go. I know we haven't got long left, but kind of sick of cyberpunk music. The Sega Mega Drive's Yamaha chip at its best with these songs. The game developer's Technosoft. It's like they deliberately maxed out the music before they made the game or something. I don't know. I read learning OpenGL is a waste of time. Learn OpenGL. If you're learning Vulkan, learn OpenGL is good for the theory. Like I've been reading bits about learn OpenGL with the IBL stuff. So this is all really good. This is relevant for everyone, right? You still have to know this stuff in Vulkan. And how these file formats work, and how to do physically based rendering with a high dynamic range picture and building blah blah blah. This stuff though is less relevant, but if you know Vulkan, you'll be able to figure out, oh, OpenGL is trying to make a texture here. I just need to do the same. So I understand though, if you're starting out for the first time, this is kind of daunting if you're going into the theory. This is physically based rendering and how light works and stuff like that. So this is all relevant. So yeah, the theory's really good on this site, honestly. For free, anyway. I don't know of any other free resource that teaches you the theory off the top of my head. Try Infernoplex. Sure, while we're compiling, I'll type that in. Don't know what this is. Oh, it's a YouTuber. Oh, right. Okay, so it's got cool geometry music. I thought you were talking about graphics theory. There we go. Anyway, let's see if this runs, right? And if it runs, let's just see if it works, eh? Okay, so we've gone back in time, even more. And we just segfault. Okay, so apparently I fixed all the things in Linux means that I didn't fix all the things in Linux. Interesting. Okay, so we just about got... What was the issue here? So this is known as a address sanitizer. It's telling us what's happening. So when the program counter is this, the base pointer is this, the stack pointer is this, which is kind of high level where the instructions are. We are dereferencing a high value, which means that we are doing something in Vulkan really wrong. Oh, I remember why this breaks. This is because we're accessing a piece of memory we shouldn't be accessing. Yeah, you can end up doing this. Where's the VMA? Create buffer. And is it the binless buffer? Sequential write. Which one is it? It's one of these that you have to add, and I've done it wrong. Because I've fixed this in the past, I do know. Allow host access transfer instead. Bit. No, what is the right one? Hang on. I think if you Google this, you get like a fantastic tutorial that tells you exactly what it is. And is this it? Yeah, okay. Let me look at this and then so sequential write access right bit, yeah. Oh, I think we need host as well. We need host access random, and we need... So one of these are missing from this, and we're not going to do mapped memory because we don't do mapped memory. And this is just to get this to run. And this one. Okay, we'll give that a compile. If it doesn't work, I'll have to come up with a different approach. I just want to know, is the game engine just a toolbox with tools you made yourself to make games? Yeah, you could say that. Or is it literally a box your game runs in? I'm confused what a game engine is used for. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Jackie Jen's right there. I hope I can be as cool as you. Thank you. So yeah, oh, John Blow said learning OpenGL is a waste of time. Okay, I don't know, but I think the theory's fine. What I'm going to say is that it's both, right? So it depends on the game engine. There's a capital E game engine, like Unity and Unreal, where the tools are very separate from the game, and there's a lowercase engine when it comes to... okay, so we're just going to leave this, I think, when it comes to what a game engine is for a game. And that's what mine is, right? So it's like a set of small tools that help run the game, but the game and the game logic are the game engine and the game engine are very tied together. And that's a lowercase game engine, right? Alright, so that was a fail. Git stash. So yeah, git stash drop. Oh, did check out space. What are your thoughts on Ziglang? Yeah, it seems cool. I just don't know much about it, honestly. Thanks for answering my question, no problem. Yeah, so... Because you can think of like, you know, Pac-Man technically had a Pac-Man game engine, right? The original on the arcades. It's just eventually game developers found... What am I doing? Wrong game. That some of the components they've written in these older games could be used in other games, and that's how... I'm in the wrong thing. Go to... That's how game engines came about. They came about as just reusing some code, and eventually they became bigger and bigger and bigger. All right. I like the guy who's making Zig. I mean, it's obviously more than just one guy now, but you know, he's given an excellent lecture on data-oriented design. I actually don't know his name. It's not something I'm going to switch to personally. I'm fine with this language right now. But yeah, Zig, all those languages are pretty chill. Still compiling. No problem. You can leave at any point, Nilo. See you soon. I'm probably gonna... Yeah, Andrew Kelly, that's the one. Exactly. I'm probably... I don't know how long you're gonna be, but I'm probably gonna end soon myself, so... yeah, have a good day if I don't see you earlier. So I take it your game engine is a lowercase, 100%. Tailored for your game, exactly. And that's what's going... Yes. Yes. The last thing I want to do is try and rewrite a capital E game engine by myself when they already exist for free online. That is not going to be useful. You can think of games like... what's it called? Factorio, for example, that uses its own game engine, and that's very specific to its own game, right? And that's what I'm trying to create, right? So a lowercase e game engine. Please don't hate yourself. Yes, I hate this project so much. No. No, I mean, end stream, I don't know. Typically I end around now. I love your video. I appreciate that. Really cool stuff. Good luck with your engine. I'm actually making one myself too. Yo, hell yeah, dude. The more the better, honestly. Do you have any cache system to reduce compile times? No. Unfortunately, a lot of my compile time is just due to a library I'm using called Jolt. So that's like 70 to 60% of my compile time right now. I might eventually shovel this into a what is it called? If it continues to be bad, I guess I should shove the vendor code into a precompiled binary and include that. Precompiled header, that's what I'm trying to think of. So basically just link Vulkan lib yeah, that's how you start learning Vulkan, right? You have to start somewhere. You need the DLL to, well, lib as well, to access some of the key functions, and then the rest are up to you. Anyway, let's try one more time after that compilation. I'm just trying to resize things to see. I think we're okay, actually. Right, okay, I'm going to have to call it here, gang. What I'm going to do is quickly, before you all leave, I will give you a invite to my server if you're not already in it, so you can actually join. Feel free to join, and yeah, we made a bit of progress there, so right at the end. And there we go. I will see you all soon. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Have a good rest of the day, guys, and also thank you for anyone who has and you know, subscribed, liked, comments, and all that on the stream. And you know, for the OGs who've been around for a while, you know, heart to you, gang too. What's your thoughts on the infamous software rendering for 2D sprites? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's very, very challenging. It's lost art, honestly. I wish got more games that did kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, so I'll leave it there. And yeah, have a good rest of the day, gang. And if I can find it, okay, bye.